But no, like, now I'm gonna be straight. Like, now it ain't weird, but in a sense it is. But it isn't. It's like, you ever just I was on a female's live, right? And this woman, I mean, I don't know, from this, I think it was about 2 years ago, going on 3 years now. But like, at first I was just strolling YouTube and shit. I wasn't really trying to, I wasn't like scouting for no chick or nothing like that. It wasn't like I was even, I don't know, when I first seen her, it was more like, it was just a glance, and I kind of just overlooked her, you know what I'm saying? And then, for some reason, I was scrolling one day, she popped back up. I kind of delved in a little deeper, watched her live. Okay, she does ministry, she's in the ministry, you know what I'm saying? I ain't thinking nothing of her, you know what I'm saying? I think out of nowhere. No, this is before, yeah, that's how it happened. I just kind of overlooked it. I just kind of just like, okay, she can hold to a point in her discussions, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, she might got a head on her shoulders, but I ain't really thinking nothing of it. And it wasn't like, far as like straight off of just seeing her, it wasn't like, ooh, she look good, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't none of that. It was just more some like, alright, you know what I'm saying? I know where I had this dream. It was a powerful dream. It was weird because when I had the dream, I didn't really so much remember it. You follow me? But when I was going through some things at the time, spiritually, and like I think I was just aligning with God. Things were like synchronicity was at an all-time high, and it was very potent how things were just projected out at me. So when I woke up one morning, it was like 4:55 in the morning. No, that was the second time. But the first time I had a dream about the chick, she just pops up. A couple numbers was like the same, and her video popped up or something like that. So I looked into it. I actually watched the whole video too, and I was like, dang. I don't know, for some reason, spiritually, she became attractive. It wasn't out of nowhere. It just, I think after I sat down and actually just gave her my undivided attention, you know what I'm saying? It struck me there, like God was just letting me know then, like, why this person came across my path like more than one time. She just kind of popped out there. So I always been like mixed girls and it's like foreign girls, you know what I'm saying? I never really, I mean, I got two child's mother that are African American sisters, you know what I'm saying? But I never really kind of like, that's not really like, I ain't saying like I'm biased, but that's just not something I've always really been with. I always been with light-skinned mixed girls, you know what I'm saying? And she just kind of just, I don't know, it was a different type of beauty I'm not gonna say I've never seen, because the only reason why I was able to really recognize her beauty like that is because I met this older woman that became very, very beautiful to me in the spirit. It was like, dang, the peace she has, her elegance just was just something that was very, very like radiant to me, and it was captivating. I was like, wow, this is one beautiful woman. Like, and why do I see her beauty in this type of way? And I'm like, God, why have you given me the spiritual eye to see her in that way? You know what I'm saying? And not like, she was just a very attractive woman. And she was an older woman, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like she was my contemporary, but she's like 2 cycles older than me. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, it's not that I was just into older woman, it's just her beauty, just spiritually. And she's clairvoyant. So that was another thing that really kind of woke me up to just her, her beauty, her divine, essence. And for some reason, I think that things really after that experience, she wasn't like, it didn't really captivate me all the way yet until, because I think at the moment I was like, wow, she's beautiful, you know what I'm saying? And my point of acknowledgement, like, okay, just in that chick, but she's very beautiful to be her age and has that type of zeal to want to like venerate God at that age, you know what I'm saying? That's very, very attractive, you know what I'm saying? So I just seen the potentiality in her maturity, which I just know is like, dang, she's gonna be a real, like, dang. So I didn't really, that didn't catch my eye. I kind of forgot it after a while. I was like, a couple weeks went by, and then a dream hit me, weighed on me heavy. And I didn't forget the dream, but it was wild because I wasn't even thinking about her. It wasn't even like, that was the first time I actually watched the whole video, and kind of like the last time since the dream. And then the dream was like so potent and vivid. It was a lucid dream that usually when I have a lucid dream, I know God is really trying to get my attention about something, you know what I'm saying? So she stood out. And man, when I say, man, like in that dream, I had never felt so relieved or at ease to be able to give someone peace. You know what I'm saying? to be able to comfort someone. I have never been so relieved to relieve someone. Kind of get what I'm saying? In my dream, that's what happened, right? And it was not like an intimate dream. Like, I mean, there was an intimate aspect of things, but it wasn't like a sexual intimacy. It was more like me just providing comfort type. You know what I'm saying? And how much of a relief it was for me to give the comfort. You know what I'm saying, to that woman. And in the dream, it was like, wow, but I never really spoke on it. Kept it to myself. Watched she pop up again after I ignored the dream, didn't say nothing to her. But what made me say something to her is because one particular night I'm fasting, and I'm actually, I was watching her now. After that, something told me to start checking the videos out. So she had this little thing she was doing where she was going through this fast one time. I was fasting with her. During the fast, sometimes we'll get up at like 6 in the morning. Well, my hours, because she was like, I think 3 hours behind. I think she was in Cali then, or maybe Texas or some shit like that. But we were fasting. I knew I was fasting. I know I was in my fast at the time. And I woke up real early. No, it was like when I woke up out of my dream, she was in the dream. But when I woke up out of that dream, because it was a powerful dream of me with real famous icons. I was dining with Oprah in the dream. It was powerful. And she popped up in the dream, again. But when I woke up, right, why? She usually goes live. But this particular time, at that time, that early in the morning, she don't be going live. But I had while I was having this type of dream, I don't know, she was having a sleepless night. You know what I'm saying? So when she posted, or may have went live, the same time as I woke up, I got the notification. It was like 4:55. I went and get the trays, with my breakfast or some shit, because I got woken up for breakfast. And it was like that early in the morning, going on 5 in the morning. I went back to my cell. I switched my notification on my phone and see that I had only one notification. It was her. So I'm like, wow, and I see the time in the numbers, in numerology, and I was like, that's weird. So I clicked on it. Video, she was talking, she was sitting on the floor, speaking about something. She was like, she couldn't sleep, or whatever. And this is such and such time, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? At the time, it was 4:55. 3 hours back, it would be 2 a.m., 2 a.m., you know what I'm saying? Or when she shot the video, you know what I'm saying? But it was wild because at the time that was happening, I was dreaming about her. And I was compelled to write her for my first time. Maybe I think I was first time or something like that. I can't really put the dates all together, but I knew that I was drawn to her then. But spiritually, I had been called to give my attention towards her, you know what I'm saying? Like, as if spiritually, I was guided to her. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing I was trying to do or seeking for a woman, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what really got my attention, homie. And man, bro, I'm thankful that I got to this point of maturity of having to grow and knowing her. I took my time out to just actually, read her story, check in on her life and watch her vlogs, and you know what I'm saying? Got to know, the way she thinks, her preferences, and what she feels about certain things, her personality, you know what I'm saying? Certain things like that. Based off of what she shows, and then what I've intuitively received from, my own intuition of learning or being able to psychologically learn about someone or extract information or knowledge about someone, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like, I had never really, I understood her more than I've ever understood any woman in my life. You follow me? Like what I mean by that is I had already had a natural acceptance in totality about her. The good, the bad, the ugly about her. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever flaws she did have, whatever, anything. It was never like I was in total acceptance naturally. It was nothing I had to work myself into. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I realized I had developed I feel like a spiritual love for this woman. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned so much in my process of being impacted by God through someone to that stature or in that degree. You know what I mean? And I had to really understand and learn how to have things and not possess them in a different degree, to a different degree, or in a different aspect of usually having and possessing things. You know what I'm saying? But I realized that, there are many women in this world. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, it's like I'm satisfied with who she is. Like, even though I could go and find another woman or have another woman that is maybe 10 times greater than her. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, it just, might, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it just, something about the acceptance that I have and how God had written her upon my life outside of any other woman. You know what I'm saying? Now I have found I came across some very, very, very attractive women in a spiritual aspect. You know what I'm saying? But where I understand her, her ways, just the things that, her interests in things about what, her perspective, the way her humor, you know what I'm saying? Who she is. Sometimes what you would say shallow in a sense of, clumsy in a sense of, sometimes she can come off real materialistic or shallow, but that's not really, that's just her loving herself because she hadn't, that esteem she did have. She never really had the chance to literally actually love herself and treat herself in life with things. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand why she has, somewhat of a taste for material things now. You know what I'm saying? But divinely, her elegance, her spirit and heart, though, I feel like that I'm fit to bear that. You know what I mean? Versus another man who really wouldn't have that type of earnestness or interest to study that type of woman. You know what I mean? To really actually invest themselves in totality I just don't feel like another man is really aligned with the type of, and I just feel like I was always designed in the type of way she was designed. You know what I'm saying? So I just be feeling like that. And I ain't gonna lie, that's just something that I had to learn, that it was just a form of attraction. It's not something that I actually forced myself to develop. It's not something that, it's just, I'm appreciative for the understanding that I have concerning that woman. You know what I mean? And God may call me down a different path for a woman. You know what I mean? Outside of her, but I still have my desires, my interests, the things that I value, the legacy that I want aligns with hers. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that there is a woman who aligns at the same capacity, though. You know what I mean? It's just that I'm appreciative for what God had already set aside for me to acknowledge. Even if she was just used for me to acknowledge, or she was used as a reflection to see who and what I am, or what I actually possess inside. You know what I'm saying? As far as my values, you know what I'm saying? My predilections and preferences, you know what I'm saying? So she may have been used for that aspect too as well, But yeah, man, that was like my first and only internet crush. You know what I'm saying? But it was just it's a divine love that I have. It's not like something that it's not something that is artificial. It's not nothing that I had to jeopardize. I didn't have to craft or do anything as far as forcing or implementing myself in a manner to, you know what I'm saying? I would say influence or spark an interest in any area about her. You know what I'm saying? It was more naturally just an occurrence that came out of synchronicity that I felt like was called as I was walking in my alignment. You know what I'm saying? And she came along, and still to this day, she's somebody. Outside of me ever knowing her, I have never spoke with this woman. I can't say I haven't spoke with her, but not haven't had exchanged words on the phone, conversated, talked with this woman, none. It was more like I emailed her, disappointing her, encouraging her. In a sense, she knows who I am, but it's not something that I feel like, I think I was rejected based off of my past and who I am now, and the image that I carry and just my status in life. You know what I'm saying? I ain't one of them jailbird. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you know how that goes, bro. But it doesn't take anything away from my esteem as a man. I think that was the best thing about it. It was more like, even when I experienced a sense or a form of rejection from one that I cared about like that to that degree, it brought so much to me, I think, from the experience, that it just accelerated me in my zeal, and my gratitude. It accelerated me to a point of independence. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it's like, okay, even though I may feel like we both have a divine objective to do together, outside of what I feel like was already given to me as far as information and a spiritual aspect, outside of that, if she had chose or just rejected, being that she rejected, it was still something that I was called to disclose unto her. You know what I'm saying? And even in the rejection, I feel like God was just already letting it be known the process or the measure in which we both had to grow, you know? So I may have serviced her in whatever way I did. I know it was right. It wasn't something that was in no type of ill way. I don't think I brought about any type of distortion or harm emotionally. But I think that still, even in this moment or in this time in my phase of my life, it's still not like I'm outside of the opportunity of this being my actual wife, though. You know what I'm saying? Because signs and synchronicity is something that we cannot manipulate. You follow me? And it's just something that I don't know. I mean, I'm in this season of where she is back as a topic of discussion in this season for me, for some reason. Even after I had already shaken the dust off my feet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, then why is she still occurring? Well, in my humility, usually I'm like, I ain't going back, or I ain't, you know what I'm saying, overly extending myself. But I think I was brought to a point of humility. I need to become familiar with a point of humility and knowing how to still, I think, gaining a receptivity that is really uncommon to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Of knowing how to not just be cordial, but also knowing how to still be in alignment with your duties in which God called. Outside of whether or not a person rejects you, you still can perform your duties for God in that person's life. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of your resentments or differences or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's something that I gained it recently in just the last message that I sent her. So, man, I got winded about that for a reason. But it's something that I just want to speak on, leave it as a topic of discussion. And now that I put it out there, I'm kind of okay with, I have the strength enough to be humiliated by just saying, yeah, I fell in love with a girl through the internet that I never even spoke to before. You know what I'm saying? And that was a phase of mine, that, you know what I'm saying? And that was all right. I mean, I think that I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because the learning experience brought so much that I can speak on now that I feel like it's very fruitful for a person who is, or maybe going through something similar in many different aspects of this kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's just something to learn or to actually extract from an experience which you have in exchange with a person. So yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I thank God for it, man. No cap. I thank God for it. Yeah, but until next time, man, I will talk about something totally different. But I'm thankful that I could share that. Because it's actually a part of my story for real. And I should not have no type of regret about these type of things. And this is just me being absolute with myself enough to, allow myself to be transparent enough to let that be known that, I've actually, inherited a gift from God through that type of experience. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, for me to have that type of will or ability to have for a person, a willingness to have for a person like that is something that is powerful. So I know whoever my wife is, if it's not her, that what I am called and capable to do for her is astronomical for real. You know what I'm saying? It's just based off of just developing so much through these trials and tribulations for real. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang. And just to have this type of mental capacity for real, I know whoever my wife is someone who is far beyond the average woman. You know what I mean? The average conscious woman. This is something I think that who God has designed for me has a mental capacity to embody me in an infinite way. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm okay with having to wait, and I'm okay with learning this degree of patience. Because she's worth that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I mean, hey, man. Say, man. Like, share, subscribe. That's all I ask, man. I pray this did something for you, and I pray this resonates. So until next time, man, I'll see you again. God's will.